Real Virginia is proudly produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau Federation. Since 1926, Farm Bureau has been working to preserve Virginia farms and our rural heritage. Visit our website at virginiafarmbureau.com.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Hello everyone and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce all the wonderful products we enjoy, brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau.
A Virginia farmer will be representing agriculture to the nation this year. A favorite comfort food has a nutty twist to this week's recipe from the heart of the home. And grape growers stay busy throughout the winter, preparing for next year's harvest.
Welcome back everyone. We're here at Horton Cellars in Orange County. It's a beautiful winery and vineyard operation. And a little later on in our show, we're going to tell you how wineries stay busy even in the winter time. But first, we're going to travel to Shenandoah Valley and introduce you to a farmer who will be the face of agriculture in 2017.
Lauren Arbogast grew up in suburban Virginia Beach, but joined her husband Brian's family on their 600-acre poultry and beef operation in Rockingham County. While raising two sons and teaching in Harrisonburg, she had a large learning curve herself, learning every day about life on the farm. The desire to share that knowledge led her to build an award-winning Ag in the Classroom program at her school. She also started a blog to share agriculture story for those who know little about modern farming.
So I jumped into the wide world of social media about 4 or 5 years ago, really heavy. Started with, just Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, then jumped into having my own blog, which is paintthetownaG.com. And it started really as just a space for me to take my plans from the classroom that were touching on agriculture and dump it there for others to use. But from there it really just grew into more of a reflection of who I am as a woman on the farm and the things that happen on the farm, the stories that are told, how we interact as a family here in rural America. And so that really has been a great outlet for me, and I think a great voice for agriculture in general. So I look forward to that continuing over this next year as a Faces of Farming for USFRA.
Growing up, Arbogast was an outdoors person with lots of family pets, but considered herself a city girl before moving to the farm.
This was just something that fascinated me completely. Stepping into the first year we were dating, stepping into a chicken house that held 30,000 chickens. I mean, it's something that will blow your mind, seeing a calf being pulled for the first time or helping a mother, in a birth. It was something so out of my ordinary that I couldn't almost help but not be, fascinated with this. And as the months and the years rolled on, it just truly became my passion. So, and I'm just blessed and so happy to be able to advocate for the industry today.
She was part of the Second Class Valor, which stands for Virginia Agriculture Leaders Obtaining Results Group, a Virginia Tech organization. Here, she gained valuable agricultural leadership skills within the state's largest industry. And late last year, the U.S. Farmer and Ranchers Alliance chose her to serve as one of the 5 national spokespersons across America for 2017.
Virginia is a great space for agriculture. I mean, just think about the diversity that we have here in Virginia that a lot of other states don't have. And so I'm certainly grateful for that. I'm grateful for my 2 years in Valor that let me dig deeper into different parts of the state and what they had to offer. Also our international and national trip with Valor just really opened my eyes to what's out there for agriculture and how I can be a better advocate for it.
Arbogast's knowledge comes right from the farm. Today, she helps raise broiler chickens in 5 poultry houses and feed a herd of 400 calves each year. The Arbogast family also leases additional land to raise silage, feed, and bedding for their livestock. Her challenge is to take that knowledge of modern farming methods and translate it to a public that is often confused by mixed marketing messages and efforts to put emotion before science. She urges other farmers to join her.
To those involved in agriculture, my message would be start a conversation. And it doesn't matter where you are, whether it's on a plane or in the grocery store aisle or your social media platform of choice, just start a conversation. But really to come out at that, from a relationship standpoint. And to consumers, I would say, everyone is welcome at the table, and come join us at the table. If you have questions about food or farming, ask a farmer or a rancher. We're very transparent, we're honest, we do this for a living, so ask us.
One key message Arbogast has for consumers is that farming is a business first, and that family farms support thousands of families with future generations on the way. Farmers are the first to protect the environment and their land, and the first to change through growth or diversification in order to continue that tradition.
Farmers already use computers and smartphones to do everything from steering their tractor to tracking grain prices. And many younger farmers are very familiar with social media, having grown up with it along with their peers. For several years now, farmers in Virginia and across the nation have been using YouTube videos, Twitter, blogs, and Facebook posts to share their lifestyle and challenges with the general public. If you want to see what's really going on in American agriculture, just do a search on your favorite social media. You'll find all sorts of agriculture posts, from conventional to alternative, and friendly folks eager to share with you.
I'm Mark Viette. Coming up on In the Garden, I'm going to talk about how to preserve your tools almost forever. Stay with us.
Horses, food, and fun. It's all coming March 24th to the 26th at the Virginia Horse Festival at the Meadow Event Park. Experience 3 days of family-friendly activities for the horse lover in all of us. Shop vendors selling boots, barns, food, and trailers. See Outback Horseman extraordinaire Guy McLean show off the traditions of the Australian bush. Visit the Chenery collection of rare Meadow Stable memorabilia as we celebrate the birthday of Secretariat, America's most famous racehorse. Learn more at virginiahorsefestival.com or on Facebook on the Virginia Horse Festival page.
It may be winter, but pretty soon those garden tools are going to need to be sharp for spring. Mark Viette shows us how to take care of them in the garden.
It is important at least once a year, maybe during the winter months, that you take some steps to help preserve them, both the metal and at the same time the wood, and in some cases you may have to sharpen the tools at the same time, like a shears. This is an old stall cleaner, and we now use it as an antique, and we have a mixture that preserves the metal and also the wood, so it almost looks brand new. I guess a couple things you need to consider is you need to first clean your tools. Pretty easy. You can use some of the heavy-duty cleaners, and what you're going to want to do is clean them. Sometimes just wiping them clean is great. If wiping them clean doesn't work, you might need to take a wire brush, a small one, to get into some of these hand tools, or you might need a steel brush to clean tools in this manner. Now, if you have a lot of grime and a lot of grit and materials that won't come off, you can even use something like WD-40, and that also loosens up the tools so they work well for you. Many of the great cutting tools are almost like scissors, so it's important when you have these types of shears that you only sharpen them in a certain way and on a certain side. So on this shears here, it's the bevel side that you want to sharpen. And you can get these really neat hand sharpeners. Of course, you can get the electric models. They work great too. But I just use these, and you just sharpen it just like this. Usually 4 or 5, maybe up to 10 times is great. Always be careful and don't cut yourself, but just like this. But you only sharpen the one side, not the flat side. The same thing is going to be true of hedge trimmers. So when you're done, you can go and cut grass, and the grass doesn't lay between the blades. So it's important on your grass clippers or your shears that you just sharpen just like this, and you can see. And then once you're done, you turn it over and you sharpen the other side. Don't wear good clothes when you're doing this. Wear things that you could throw away, maybe even an old raincoat. But I do recommend gloves. keep in mind there's different types of tools nowadays. Some of the tools are made of plastic, so there are, and you can see this one here has been in the sun too long and it's starting to fade, and it will at some point start breaking down. So there are some protectants that are a little different than waxes. They're polymers, and they're UVB, UVA, and sun resistant. They use them on boats and so forth. But for the tools, I make a mixture. Now, I use boiled linseed oil, not raw linseed oil. Raw linseed oil is too sticky, and so what you're going to do is use about 3/4 of your boiled linseed oil. You don't need to make a whole lot. And you can either use, some people use paint thinner, some people use turpentine. So what we're going to do is we're going to put about 1/4 of turpentine, mix the two together, and then you take a paintbrush. You can just go ahead and paint the tools at the same time. You can come in here and treat the shovel itself. Just let them stay outside and dry. And when you're done, you're going to have something that looks like this that will help prevent it from rusting, and it really helps the wood and preventing it from splintering. The last thing I want to mention, if you're dealing with tools that are like saws or pole saws, they're best left to be sharpened by professionals. If you have lawn mowers and you have rotary blades, usually there's a specific angle, but for, I think for about less than $10, you can have your pole saws or hand saws sharpened, and they're just brand new. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com. There's nothing like comfort food on a cold winter morning. Chef Maxwell shows us how to prepare an old favorite with a historic twist next, in the heart of the home.
From our farms to your table, Virginia dairy farm families are dedicated to providing your family with nutritious, high-quality milk.
I'm Dan Myers, a fifth-generation dairy farmer from Virginia.
I'm Roy Vanderhyde, a first-generation dairy farmer from Virginia.
I'm Gerald Heatwool, a third-generation dairy farmer from Virginia.
I am dedicated to dairy, my cows,
My milk,
and our land.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Heart of the Home. We are here at Meadow Hall at Meadow Event Park in Doswell, Virginia. And of course with us, the wonderful Chef John Maxwell. And Chef, what are we cooking with today?
Well, it's February, and February is Black History Month. And a few years ago, in the archives, the Civil Rights Archives in Washington, D.C., they found a recipe. And it's actually Rosa Parks' recipe for peanut butter pancakes. And since peanuts are such a great Virginia product, and February is a great time to celebrate, I thought we'd do some peanut butter pancakes in honor
Sounds
of her.
perfect.
Right?
Great recipe for the kids.
Yeah, yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do, right, is I'm going to crack an egg into this bowl and stir that up. All right, need to get it beaten really good. Now we're going to add a third of a cup of peanut butter. All right, get that.
My son would call that one sandwich worth.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
All right, get that out of the way. All right, and now get this mixed in. We want to mix the wet ingredients so that they're nice and smooth before we add the dry ingredients. So we're going to mix that together.
Now, does it matter if you use, I know, we're going by Rosa Parks' recipe, so it was probably whole milk, correct?
More than likely she was going to use whole milk.
Right.
right? But the milk is the liquid, gives it the volume and helps tie the ingredients together. So whether it's whole milk or skim milk or non-fat milk, or actually if you wanted to make this something a little different, you could use silk or soy milk or any of those kinds of things. So I'm going to add the cup and a quarter of milk. Get that mixed so it's nice and smooth. And now that that's mixed, I'm going to add a cup of flour, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, baking soda rather, some salt, right, and some sugar. Right, I've already sifted that into here. I've got them out here for you to see, but this is already in there. I'm going to just.
So there's our flour.
Flour, sugar, salt, and baking soda. All right, and get that mixed together. And while I'm doing this, we need to prep that griddle.
Okay, I'm on it.
Right, so we need to add a little bit of shortening. Since we're paying attention to Rosa Parks' recipe, she called for shortening, so we're going to use the shortening. Right, I would imagine that this will work just as well with any of the oils or solid shortenings that are heat resistant. You know, butter browns too quickly for this kind of thing, so I wouldn't use butter on it.
And it is important to grease even when you have like a nonstick griddle, just so.
Yes.
So your pancakes don't become flop cakes.
Yeah. All right. So we ready?
Yes.
All right, let me get one up here.
Okay.
All right.
I know we don't have smell-o-vision, but the smell of peanut butter is divine. Now here's a question some folks may have. How do you know when's the perfect time to flip a pancake?
Well, if you can see, you see these little air bubbles are breaking up here? That's the clue. You look for the air bubbles to come
Around the outside?
in the middle of the pancake.
Okay.
In the middle of the pancake. Yeah, let me cut this temperature down a little bit.
And you said this griddle's about at 300, right?
They're a little closer to 350.
Perfect.
All right. So the rest of them are yours, all right?
I'm on it.
All right. Let's see what you got, Cookie.
Cookie.
Look at the way they're puffing up.
Yeah, they're really nice.
They're really going to be nice and fluffy. We want to make sure that they're done all the way through. Now, we're going to put them on that plate over there, and you can use anything you want in these. You can use maple syrup, you can use jelly, you can use jam, you can use honey, any kind of thing to help sweeten them with, right? Yeah, there it is, right? Let's take that off. All right. Yeah.
Done?
Nice and light.
Yeah.
They feel light?
Oh, they're beautiful.
Okay, we've got our pancakes over there.
Look great.
Right? And
Put a little something on.
okay, I got something right here. Right?
A little confectioner sugar.
Powdered sugar. Yeah, it's called confectioner sugar. Sherry, thanks for being with me today.
Sure.
We had a great time.
Yes.
Making Rosa Parks' famous now peanut butter pancakes. Right?
They look great.
Every week, we make recipes using great Virginia-grown food. We make them in our kitchen so you can make them in your kitchen. Join us next week on Heart of the Home when we get to play with more great Virginia food.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on Chef Maxwell's website, chefjohnmaxwell.com. Historians believe people consumed pancakes as early as the ancient Greeks, but maple syrup didn't become a popular topping until early European settlers on the American continent started boiling down maple sap for sugar. While maple sugar producers have switched from using buckets and cast iron pots to drip lines and stainless steel boilers, the end product is still delicious. You can visit a sugar camp and watch this fascinating transformation from tree to syrup each March in Highland County, Virginia. In 2017, the 59th Maple Festival is set for the weekends of March 11th and 12th and 18th and 19th. Plan your trip early and prepare to eat all the pancakes you can hold.
Grapes grow in the summertime and they're harvested in the fall. So you'd think that wintertime would be kind of boring around here. Dave Miller says not so fast. Wintertime is when the folks get ready for next year's crop.
There may be snow on the ground at VERITAS Vineyards and Winery, but the work goes on, even in sub-freezing temperatures. Workers will prune 66,000 vines this winter to prepare for the next growing season. That's just some of the activity underway during cold weather. Vineyard manager Bill Tonkins says they are planting more grapevines every year, struggling to catch up with huge demand for Virginia wine. A new study says the number of grape-bearing acres in Virginia rose 22% from 2010 to 2015, up to 3,300 acres. But that's still not enough.
There are not enough Virginia grapes. We're planting as fast as we can up on top of the hill up there. We've just planted 6 acres, and we've got about another 6 acres at least that we can put there. The acreage behind me, these are only 2-year-old vines, and just further to the right, we planted them this year. So we're forever planting grapes.
VERITAS Winery bottled more than 20,000 cases of wine last year, keeping winemaker Emily Pelton very busy. During the winter months, the cellar is a crucial part of the winemaking process. Workers must remove the clear wine from the top of each barrel, clear out the remnants, and then refill the oak barrels for more of the aging process. With a master's degree from Virginia Tech, Pelton has a firm foundation in agriculture and uses those skills to make top-quality wine.
I have to watch the weather, I have to watch process and think ahead. When I'm coming into a dry year, I have to think about dry winemaking techniques. When I'm coming into a wet year, I have to prepare for that as well. But one of my biggest challenges, I am in agriculture, so early spring frosts, winter freezes, weather during harvest is one of my biggest challenges, really.
When growing grapes, Tonkins says it's all about the location. The steep hills of the vineyards near Afton Mountain offer protection from the harshest winter and spring temperatures. The Hodson family purchased the former cattle farm in 1999 and planted their first 5 acres as a hobby before realizing it could be a serious business, one that other landowners could take up.
Please, if you're interested, we've got new grower workshops that people can attend through Virginia Tech. And that will tell you everything you need to know about growing grapes, but I'd encourage you to do so, because I can tell you that VERITAS needs to buy more and more grapes each year.
While winter is when finishing, blending, and bottling the wine takes place, Pelton says her favorite time of year is the harvest. That's when bringing in the crop and beginning the fermentation process takes place. That's when they see how well their stewardship of the vines has paid off. They have one chance to do it right, and each year is different.
Wine is grown. It's not made in my cellar. I actually grow it outside in Virginia in the sun and the rain and in the hurricanes. It is an agricultural product, and there's a lot of heart put into every bottle of wine, not only my heart, but the people working out in the vineyard, the people working in my cellar, my family. So wine is really a labor of love.
A 2017 economic impact study notes that Virginia's wine industry contributes $1.37 billion annually to the state's economy, and that it has grown by 82% in the last 5 years. Part of that includes visits to vineyards and wineries, an important part of the state's agritourism industry. Best of all, you don't have to wait until warm weather to enjoy a Virginia vineyard. Like many farm wineries, VERITAS has a tasting room with a cozy log fireplace ready all winter long. In Nelson County, Virginia, I'm Dave Miller.
That's going to do it for this edition of Real Virginia. We are so glad you could join us to celebrate the bounty Virginia has to offer. Whether it's in your home, your garden, or your landscape, we're proud to say that this is Real Virginia. So for everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a good week.
Chesapeake Bay.